Let's just look at the facts. For over 25 years, we've played Super Mario 64 with the same assumption. Bowser is evil, Peach is a helpless damsel, and Mario is a hero. But what if that's not quite what happened? What if Mario isn't the hero? What if Bowser might have a point? Today, we're re-examining Super Mario 64, the actual lines of dialogue, the world logic, and the character's behavior, and we're doing it without assumptions. No headcanon, no cartoons, no movie tie-ins. Just the words in the game and what they imply. Let's begin where all stories should begin, with an unsolicited invitation to dessert. The first thing we hear is a letter from Princess Peach.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Nothing about danger, no urgency, just cake. So Mario arrives, cheerful, oblivious, maybe hungry. You know, like a normal plumber would be when invited to a royal bakery situation. But then as we enter the castle, welcome, no one's home. Now scram, and don't come back. Gwahaha. Let's pause. No one's home? Interesting. Not you're too late, not help she's trapped, just no one's home. Bowser's not even saying he kidnapped anyone. He's just telling Mario to go away. If that's a crime, then lock up every grandpa who ever told a kid to get off his lawn.
Get off my lawn.
And then we meet Toad, our first eyewitness. His testimony is crucial. Let's analyze. Am I glad to see you? The princess, and I, and well, everybody, we're all trapped in the castle walls. Okay, bit dramatic. He seems fine. He's literally standing right next to the front door. I just came through that door. It opens, it closes, no locks, no guards, nothing's stopping him. He's not trapped. If he's trapped, what exactly is stopping him from leaving? Is he just lying, confused, or worse, in on it? But let's continue. Bowser has stolen the castle's stars, and he's using their power to create his own world in the paintings and walls. Now that's fascinating. So Bowser takes the stars, these magical objects of power, and what does he do with them? He builds worlds. He doesn't hoard them. He doesn't destroy anything. He creates fully functioning, explorable environments inside the castle walls. That's honestly kind of amazing. The man's an artist, an engineer, possibly an urban planner, and we call him a monster? Also, side note, Toad's priorities are telling. He doesn't plead for help escaping. He doesn't say save the princess. His only real request is, please recover the power stars. Interesting. This starts to sound less like a rescue mission and more like asset recovery. Toad is a henchman for the Toadstool family. It's clear where his priorities are. Securing the wealth of the princess who employs him. Can we trust him when he says everyone is trapped when clearly he is free to go? Let's ask a basic question. Who actually owns the power stars? The game never says Peach created them, or that the Mushroom Kingdom has a legal claim to them. These 120 magical artifacts, each one brimming with raw cosmic energy, weren't out in the world. They were locked away inside Princess Peach's castle. Hidden, guarded, hoarded. No infrastructure, no public utility, just power, consolidated in the hands of one monarch. Let's assume the power stars weren't Peach's to begin with. Peach's castle may have been hoarding these infinite energy artifacts, concentrated in one building under royal lock and key. Bowser's act of taking them? Not theft, but redistribution of cosmic resources. The Toadstools are the billionaires of the Mushroom Kingdom and are hoarding valuable resources that could be used for the betterment of its citizens. Bowser seizes the stars and begins redistributing them like a cosmic Robin Hood. Peach hoarded them, Bowser shared them, and for that he's the villain? Bowser didn't steal the stars, he liberated them. Bowser's vision for the stars was public works projects instead of letting the power stars gather dust in the castle's magical basement. Bowser used them to build biomes, to energize new environments, to create habitats for Goombas, Boos, Penguins, Womps, and more. Bowser used them to build places like Womp's Fortress, a peaceful stone kingdom, until Mario literally crushes the ruler from above. Tiny Huge Island, a miracle of magical resizing physics, which Mario uses to terrorize a giant fish and commit environmental vandalism. Mario calls them levels, Bowser calls them neighborhoods. Each painting world wasn't a prison, it was a community development zone, a fully funded environmental dome project with themes, residents, and jobs, empowering them all not to just survive, but thrive. From geothermal platforms to underwater sanctuaries, Bowser's new ecosystems use star energy to create livable biomes for dozens of species. This also would stimulate dimensional tourism via paintings as portals. Can Peach claim that level of innovation? Peach had the stars locked in a vault. Bowser put them to work. He didn't steal stars, he gave them purpose. Was it really a kidnapping, or just an energy audit? Let's talk about Bowser. He doesn't want to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom, he wants to reshape it. A ruler of his own sovereign nation, yes, but also a builder, a visionary. He's a single father doing his best to create safe, high-energy habitats for his citizens. He's raising a child in a world that fears him, providing housing, jobs, lava pits for warmth. He sees the stars not as weapons, but as fuel for progress. And the so-called kidnapping of Princess Peach? Let's just call it what it is, an attempt at a diplomatic summit. Did she ever really resist? They played tennis together, golf, go-karting, even attended the Olympics. If that's kidnapping, sign me up! History is written by the victors, and in this case, by the plumber. In Peach's castle, Mario doesn't save anything, he ruins everything. Every time he jumps on an enemy, a Koopa is out of a job. Mario's journey starts with violence. Goombas, peaceful mushroom citizens. Koopas, blue-collar workers heading to their shell-based jobs. He doesn't ask questions, he doesn't negotiate, he just jumps. Public infrastructure? Destroyed on sight. He doesn't just collect power stars, he tears through entire ecosystems to get them. He rides a mother penguin's baby down a ski slope. He punches ghosts. He throws a baby penguin off a cliff and laughs. He destroys the environment, loots the treasury, and no one stops him because he's the hero? And don't even get me started on the Tanuki suit. That's not cosplay, that's cultural appropriation. But now let's get back to the story. After speaking to Toad, Mario gathers 8 stars, the arbitrary number Toad tells us we need, and gains access to the first big confrontation, Bowser himself. Now here's where things get interesting. Bowser doesn't come out swinging, he doesn't open with a threat or a maniacal monologue. No, the first thing he says is, "You've stepped right into my trap, just as I knew you would. I warn you, friend. Watch your step." Friend? He calls Mario friend. And then yes, he says it's a trap, but not before giving a kind of little PSA. Watch your step. That's not evil, that's considerate. That's someone who understands OSHA regulations. Bowser's like, yeah, I said a trap, but I don't want you to twist an ankle or anything. Where's that energy when Mario boots a penguin off a cliff? And let's be real, if you're setting a deadly trap for your mortal enemy, do you really stop to warn them? This feels less like a supervillain showdown and more like a high-stakes game of tag between 2 coworkers who know this whole thing is for show. Alright, so we managed to dodge a sea of lava pits and floating platforms, and finally come face to face with the so-called villain of the story. Tough luck, Mario. Princess Toadstool isn't here. Gwahaha. Go ahead, just try to grab me by the tail. Let's examine that. The princess isn't here. Not she's in chains, not you'll never see her again, not she's locked in a tower screaming your name, just she's not here. Like she's running errands. Like Bowser answered the door in sweatpants and was like, oh dude, you just missed her. Again, no threats, no dark magic, just a gentle roast. Tough luck. And then another playful instruction. Go ahead, just grab me by the tail. What kind of villain invites you to attack them? That's not intimidation, that's consent. Bowser's literally giving you a tutorial. He's like, hey buddy, try the tail thing, it'll be fun. This man is less final boss and more friendly sparring partner. And yes, Mario defeats him. He throws him into one of his own bombs. Bowser disappears with a dramatic flair, but not before reminding you that the princess is still, you know, elsewhere. Not imprisoned, not tortured, just busy. Grr, I was a bit careless. This is not as I had planned, but I still hold the power of the stars and I still have Peach. Oh no, he still has Peach? That sounds like a confession until you look a little closer. I was a bit careless. That's not rage. That's not vengeance. That's self-reflection. That's emotional maturity. Bowser's owning his mistakes like he's in therapy. This is not as I had planned. Well, now I'm curious, what was the plan, Bowser? Maybe it didn't involve bombs or lava. Maybe it involved sitting down, hashing things out, having some cake like adults. We'll never know. Mario ruined it. And that last line, I still have Peach? Okay, sure, out of context, that sounds bad. But what if we read it like, I still have Peach. She's safe with me. I'm holding on to her until this aggressive Italian man stops throwing turtles into bombs. Honestly, Peach might be safer with Bowser. After collecting the rest of the stars, Mario again confronts Bowser and defeats him for a second and final time. My troops, worthless. They've turned over all the power stars. What? There are 120 in all? Amazing. There were some in the castle that I missed? Oh, so now who's hoarding stars? Not Bowser, Mario. Bowser's been out here keeping them safe, maybe even organizing them, and his own troops betray him by handing them over? And now he's realizing there were more hidden in the castle all along. This isn't the voice of a monster. This is a leader blindsided by his own people. This is a project manager whose team accidentally set the prototype to the press. Now I see peace returning to the world. Ooh, I really hate that. I can't watch. I'm out of here. This is the line. The mask drops. No more bluster, no more fire breath, just resignation. He sees peace returning, but it's not the world he envisioned. A world where he was finally able to bring control, where the chaos could be managed, where he was protecting something greater than himself. And now that world is gone. He doesn't rant. He doesn't beg. He just leaves quietly, alone, the villain reduced to a silhouette, fading into the lava. After all the battles, after tearing down ecosystems, destabilizing Bowser's infrastructure, and reclaiming every last Power Star, Mario finally reaches Peach. And what does she say? Does she acknowledge being rescued? Does she mention being a prisoner? Does she even clarify whether she was ever in danger?
Mario! The power of the stars is restored to the castle.
No. She thanks him for restoring her hoarded wealth. This wasn't a rescue. This was a repossession.
And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake. For Mario.
After scaling 15 hostile dimensions, defeating Bowser 3 times, and collecting 120 ancient cosmic artifacts, Mario is rewarded with baked goods? Let them eat cake? More like let him eat the truth. A literal monarch uses you to recover her magical wealth, then rewards you with a pastry? Bowser might have been the villain, but at least he gave us innovation. Entire worlds, ecosystems, height-scaling tech. Peach gave us empty carbs. So let's ask one more time, was Bowser really the villain, or was he just misunderstood?